So we're going to be adding and subtracting integers, but we need to know what those are. Does anybody know what an integer is? Do you guys know what whole numbers are? What's a whole number? It's what it sounds like. If you understand, if you think, you got to start thinking now. It's a lot easier. What's a whole number? Does it have a fraction? No, it's a whole number. You want to eat the whole pie. You want the whole apple. You have just the regular numbers, no fractions, no decimals. What about 0? How many pies do we have in this room? 0. So that's a whole number. 0, 1, 2, 3. Those are whole numbers. Do you know what natural numbers are? Or another word for natural numbers are counting numbers. So if I want to start counting all the chairs in the room, what number would I start with? No, there are chairs in this room. I would start counting with what? I'm going to start counting all the chairs. What's this chair? Number 1. That's the difference between whole numbers and counting numbers. We start counting with 1. Okay, well, integers are all of those numbers. Let's make a list. So I have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. But in Minnesota, we know other kinds of numbers because it gets cold here. Okay, Keaton? What kind of numbers? What happens when it gets really cold? Because it's coming. Guaranteed, it's coming. They're not always positive numbers in our temperature. What other kind of numbers are there? Negative numbers. So integers are going to be all these positive whole numbers and then the opposite of the whole numbers. -1, -2, -3, -4. Do you know what temperature it is when Celsius and Fahrenheit actually are the same? Like if I say it's 0 degrees Celsius, now that is the freezing point of water. What is that Fahrenheit? 32 degrees. You know when these actually match up? They're 2 different scales. Anybody know? It's hit this temperature in Minnesota. -40 degrees Fahrenheit is equal to -40 degrees Celsius. And what does the negative mean? That we are what? No, freezing. This is freezing. Temperature, water freezes at, by the way. I learned that ice cream does not freeze at the same temperature. You want to know how I did that? I didn't have room in my freezer for my ice cream. It was 20 degrees outside. It'll be fine outside at 20 degrees. No, it's not. Freezing temperature of ice cream is much lower than 32. Different liquids freeze at different temperatures. Okay, so if you have a diesel car, you kind of have a freezing temperature, so you have to mix number 1 and number 2 fuel in there. Otherwise, your car, it'll gel up on you and you won't be able to run your car. I know that one too. So this is the number of degrees. The negative is the number of degrees below 0. Whatever 0 you're talking about. And it's cold. How cold does it get in Antarctica? I think it's like -80 to -120. It's pretty cold. It's really cold there. In the summertime, there's summertime. I think if you get up to freezing temperatures like 32, I think that's the maximum we'll get. I don't know. I just know I don't really want to go there. My sister went there, and I don't know why she wanted to go there. It's too cold for me. So we're going to be dealing with negative numbers today. We know all about negative numbers because we live in Minnesota. So a way to define integers would be the whole numbers. You should be writing this down, and their opposites. It's a word you can hear in every math class you're in. Integers. So we need to know what an integer is. Okay, so they're not decimals, they're not fractions, they're whole numbers. There's no parts to them, which makes that a little bit better. Okay, what about 0? Well, guess what? 0 is its own opposite. 0 is its own opposite. And what do I mean by opposite? Let's make a little table here. So I'll just make a very quick little table here. And here's my number, here's my opposite, and here's the sum. So if I have the number 1, what's the opposite of 1? Negative 1. They're opposite signs. That's what you mean by opposites. It has negative signs. And what happens when you add 1 and negative 1? What happens if you add 1 and negative 1, Dominic? What if I add this? 1 plus a negative 1. I get what? 0. So these are special relationships here. What if I take 10? What's the opposite of 10? Negative 10. And what do you get when you add them? 0. Actually, these are called additive inverses. What if I have negative 29? What's the opposite of negative 29? Keaton, what's the opposite of negative 29? It's 29, because if I add them, I get 0. Okay, so that negative sign just makes it the opposite value. We're going to start with manipulatives on this to make sure we know how to add and subtract positive and negative numbers. Integers. We're not even going to do fractions. I'm not going to say numbers. Fractions are wicked. You thought fractions were wicked before. They're even more wicked this way. Okay, Dominic, we got to be 100% proficient on this, because where we're going with this is solving equations. And where you make the mistakes I learned last year in solving equations is not in how to solve equations. You guys get that part. You make the mistake with how to add these signed numbers. So we've got to get this. So and I want you to do it without a calculator, because a calculator only slows you down, and then when you get to doing it, you won't do it. So here's this way of visualizing it. And you don't have the notes, but if I have a yellow, and I have a red, and then they undo each other. So I'm going to have squares. And we're just going to kind of look at colors. I don't have real good manipulatives. Okay. Okay, so it says I want to do 2 plus 4 and get 6 using these little circles. I think I can do that. So I'm going to have 2 yellow ones, and then I'm going to add in 4 more yellow ones, because the yellows will make positive and the reds will make negative. I don't care. 1, 2, 3, 4. And somebody can come up and do this if they want. So this is what I do for the 2. This is what I do for the 4. And then you're going to add them all up. So how many do I have altogether of these yellow ones? Can you see them okay? I have 6. So the problem is when I get to the negatives. So what I'm going to do here, I want a negative 3. So I'm going to call these the positives, these the negatives. It makes no difference. Now, if you can do this without manipulatives, that's great, but you better be right on it. Okay, so how many red ones do I want? Evan, how many red ones do I want? I want 3 negatives. Or you can just draw pluses and minuses. I want 3 of these guys. And then how many of the yellow ones do I want? Josh, how many yellow ones do I want? 7. So I want 1. And notice I'm lining them up. 2. I'm sorry it's so low, but I got to do this. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And what happens to these guys? They kill each other off. Call them sign wars if you want. A plus and a minus go away. That gives you 0. A plus and a minus gives you 0. Plus and minus gives you 0. So how many am I left with? Positive or negative? It's 4. But remember, I said the yellow ones were what? Positive. So I've got 4 positives. We don't usually write the plus, but I will, just to make a point here. How about a negative 2 plus 1? Oh, she did put some more dots here. That's good. Okay. Somebody want to try it? Dominic, you want to try it? Do you want to come up here and try it? No? Well, tell me how many negatives I'm going to do. Which color is a negative? Red. Okay. It doesn't matter. Just so I remember. So I want 2 of those. And then how many positives do I want? 3. You can do pluses and minuses. If you know what the answer is, fine. But you need to make sure it's right. It matters. Okay, Adam, what happens here? These go away. They go away. And what am I left with? 1, the positive or negative? Positive. Oh, I missed example 3. Sorry. Yeah, come on up. So you should be paying attention next. We've got to get these right. We're stuck in algebra. If we don't get this, we're stuck. That's right. 1 negative there, and so if you want to come up and do your worksheet, use the circles on the board, you can. But okay. Yep, that's right. -1. Another way I think of it is money. I don't think of temperatures. Started at 0 degrees. You know, it goes down to -2 degrees. Good job. Here's 0. If you're at -2, you're starting here and you're going to count up 1. You're still going to be below 0, aren't you? Or what if I have $0 in my checking account and I write a check for 2? I'm now overdrawn. Do you know what overdraft fees are? $35. So you don't want to be overdrawn. But I'll put one more dollar in and I'm still what? I'm still overdrawn. I don't care what works for you. It's whatever works. That's what we want to do. Well, I wouldn't even do example 5 with signed numbers. What's 3 take away 1? 2. Okay, so let's not make it hard. But 2 take away 5. So how are we going to do subtracting? Well, subtraction is the same as adding the opposite. And I've said before that when you do math, I can't prove it, but when I do things, I have to do 2 things every time. So I want to change this to an adding problem and then do the opposite of 5. So I really have 2 plus a -5. Or you could try starting with 2 of the yellow circles. And you can try taking away 5, but you're in trouble, right? I have $2 and I'm trying to give you guys $5. Am I going to be able to do that? No, I'm going to have to go borrow some money from somebody or be overdrawn. So if I think of it this way, 2 pluses and 5 negatives, then I'm going to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These will go away, and I'm left with what? 3 what? Negatives. What about example 7? Let's see. What about -2 plus 3? Evan, what's that going to give me? Anybody know the answer? Josh, what's -2 plus 3? It's 1. Because I'm going to have 2 negatives and 3 positives. Some of you are going to need this visual aid to help you. It's okay. The goal is to get it right. You want your airplane pilot to get it right. Which I do. So that's 1, and that's a positive. Okay, so there are some for you to try. Yeah, you have some subtractions in there. What do you need more? Don't have any better ones? Maybe we'll try the worksheet first. Or you can try this. What's 1 take away 6? You guys try them. I'll give you a chance to try them. And should we look at the website first? That's really cool. If you are having problems with any of these, this was a nice little game, and maybe somebody wants to play it. That's right, I was going to download it. I haven't done that yet. Okay? So click and drag circles to represent the problem. 6 negatives. 4, 5, 6, and then 2 positives. And, we can figure out that those are going to undo each other, right? So what should the answer be? -4. -4. Okay, so watch what this does. What did it do? Oh, and then we drag these on here. Let's go, and it gets rid of them. And then you go, oh, I don't know if this will work. -4. Will that work? No, I'm going to type it in. Yeah, it's easy. And then we can check. Okay, no problem. So we want to try it? Okay, come on up. I think that's kind of cool. This is a website that you have. Did I just have adding here? We better do the practice ones. It should go away. Yeah, there it goes. So it's what? -3. So I'll type that in. So it checks that you do have to type it in, though. Good job. Check. So you can use my computer. Oh, it did that. And we can try another problem. So there's a little practice for you if you want to do that. I can download it. I haven't downloaded it yet. So here's a little practice for you. I want 1, and then I want take away 6. How can I write that as an adding problem? Because then it's easier. This is 1. And then what do we do with the subtracting? I don't know how to subtract with signed numbers. Or you can think of it just as a -6. This is a +1. Oops. +1. And then I have to do what? 6 what? Negative. Make it, I like to see it as plus a -6. So I make this plus a negative. Especially when we get double negatives. We'll have problems with example E. But I'm going to let you try it. And then you're going to do 6 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These go away. And I'm left with 5 negatives. Oh, I thought I had replaced, I thought I had that. -5. So I'm going to pause my recording and let you try these. Let's do example B, and then I'll let you try them. It's -5 -2. And this is on your handout. What am I going to do with this? It's -5, and I'm going to what? Add a -2. Is that okay, Adam? Andrew, you got that? Because we got to get these right. Okay, so it's 5 negatives. 1. You don't have to use my manipulatives if you know the answer. This is just to help you. 4, 5, and then guess what? I got to put in 2 more negatives. So what's the answer going to be? How many negatives? Keaton, how many negatives? I had 5, and I added 2 more. So how many is that altogether? 5, 6, 7. 7 negatives. Okay? So we want you to try these. And we'll check them. I'll give you a little bit of time. And that's, we're only going to get, I should number the pages, but that's not as easy as it looks. And then we're going to see where it says page 41 of your workbook. That's my handout for today. It does say page 41, by the way.